The following program contains coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
I really, truly hope that you guys remember when I talked about this and there were things that I called out because this interview was very similar to the situation that happened in Las Vegas with, I never remember the name. I'd have to look it up again. But that situation where they lied in that interview about a kid missing, and this situation was very, very similar because they got on TV, did interviews, and I just think that when you do stuff like this, that is a special level of you're just a bad, really, really bad person, okay? To be able to do that. You have no soul, you have no conscience. All right, this video may contain some strong language. I've been doing real good about it, but just in case, it's not intended for kids. It's intended for mature audiences. Let me give you a disclaimer about my channel, and then we'll go from there.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And I'm getting this from NBCnews.com, so thank you for the article. So this is going to be half of a final update, because we still got to get the woman in this situation. So let me back it up so you can see her face. We're going to be including her in this in a later update. But for now, we're getting a final sentencing on the jackass who led this interview, which is that man right there, if you could even call him a man. I don't know what you call him, all right? The California father accused of killing his infant son and falsely claiming that he had been kidnapped. He got on TV and said this. He was sentenced on Monday to 25 years to life in prison. So the courts saw through the bull crap and they got him. Jake Haro, 32 years old, was also sentenced to an additional 6 years for an earlier child abuse case, according to the Riverside County District Attorney's Office. The judge who presided over the murder charges linked to the death of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro, which is this young innocent baby right here, ordered the defendant to serve the sentences consecutively, not concurrent. So consecutive is one after another. So if you finish one, you got to do the other. And I think they got that right. The lies told in this case only deepened the tragedy of Emmanuel's death, Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestrin said in a statement included in the release. While today's sentence represents a measure of accountability for Jake Haro, our office will continue to seek justice as the case against his co-defendant moves forward, which is the lady who was doing the interview. I don't know if that's the mom or his wife or whatever. We'll get to that in a second. Haro pleaded guilty last month to charges of murder, child endangerment, and filing a false police report. And you see he's got the advertisement right there. His lawyer did not immediately respond to a request for a comment on Monday. Haro's wife, this individual right here, Haro's wife, Rebecca Haro, has pleaded not guilty to charges of murder and filing a false police report in connection with the boy's killing. And I hope they get a guilty conviction on her too. Emmanuel's remains have never been found. So I'm glad they got them, at least one of them, this much time in prison. Now, of course, if you find the body, if you get the body, that'll just solidify this even more. But like I said, I think that they got this ruling correct. Rebecca Haro, the wife, claimed Emmanuel was kidnapped in the parking lot of a Big Five sporting goods store on August the 14th. She and her husband were arrested 8 days later after an investigation that authorities have said determined that account of information, that the accounts of things were false. In the earlier child abuse case, Jake Haro was given a suspended sentence in order to serve 180 days on a work release program after pleading guilty in 2023 to willful cruelty to children, a willful child cruelty. The victim in that case was a child from a previous marriage who suffered severe injuries linked to the abuse, including a partial bone fracture of the skull and brain hemorrhaging. But you know what? And it's funny because he could still get with the next woman and still make babies and still get pussy and still hurt and harm kids. That's just insane. And it's like, when you have that on your record, when you're accused of that, if you do your due diligence as the person dating that person, do a background check. See what is on their background before you make a kid with them, before you get married to them. And then make the decision at that point. But I think that people just don't care. They care more about their personal happiness, right? And I think that when you continue to be selfish like that and you won't wait for the right person, you just take the person that's right there in front of your face. You're just like, I like this person, this thug behavior. Again, I want y'all to remember that thug is not a skin color. Thug is an action. This man is a thug. He is a man who beats and hurts and murders kids and hides the bodies. Okay? Let me give you guys the fair usage, and then we'll take a look. I got, I think, 2 news videos.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
If you guys are listening to the sound of my voice, do me a favor and share this video in your favorite true crime groups. All you got to do is copy and paste that link, hit that thumbs up, share this video. We'd love to have more people participate in these conversations. I really want to know what you guys think, okay? And thank you for those who were able to donate, show some love. Shout out to Deborah Dorr, who was in the chat, and our friend and moderator, Tanea. Thank you very much. I did get your Cash App just now, okay? So I appreciate that. Let's take a look at this. Here we go. Let's get it.
25 years to life in prison. That's a sentence Cabazon man is given after he pleads guilty to murdering his 7-month-old son.
Baby Emmanuel Haro was reported missing in August. His body has never been found. The judge handing down the sentence to his father, Jake, this afternoon.
Let's go live to Fox 11. Gina Silva with more from Riverside tonight. Gina?
Well, Marla, Christine, this is a case that has shaken an entire community. Today, the courtroom was packed. It was standing room only, and people were actually turned away. Inside, 32-year-old Jake Haro learned his fate.
Accordingly, I will impose the indeterminate term of 25 years to life.
2 weeks after pleading guilty to killing his 7-month-old son, Emmanuel, Jake Haro has been sentenced to the maximum penalty under California law, 25 years to life in prison. His attorney argued for a lighter sentence, noting that Haro confessed to the murder, but the judge rejected that request.
While Mr. Haro did plead guilty at an early stage in the proceedings, this does not outweigh the significant and considerable aggravating factors that he has admitted to. It cannot be ignored that Mr. Haro was on probation for severely abusing one child when he decided to assault and kill another child.
Right before the judge handed out the sentence, Emmanuel's maternal grandmother had this to say.
He destroyed my whole family. He branded his children for life. He damaged all his children for life. He changed my daughter to where we don't know who she is.
Rebecca Haro, who first told reporters her baby had been kidnapped on August 14th, continues to insist she is innocent. Meanwhile, community members following the case say they're frustrated that Emmanuel's body still hasn't been found. Many believe the sentence wasn't harsh enough.
I wish he would have gotten the death penalty for the innocent baby that he took. That was his son.
He shouldn't have, he should just have life, with no parole.
Where's the baby? Now that he got sentenced, where's the baby? Just say it. Just where's the baby? He deserved better.
Haro received an additional 6 years and 4 months for related charges, and they will be served consecutively. Meanwhile, Rebecca Haro will be back in court on January 21st. Well, I can tell you, so many people have been following. Jake Haro has been sentenced to the maximum penalty under California law.
Changed my daughter.
Proceedings. This does not outweigh the significant and considerable aggravating factors that he is admitted to. It cannot be ignored that Mr. Haro was on probation for severely abusing one child when he decided to assault and kill another child.
Right before the judge handed out the sentence, Emmanuel's maternal grandmother had this to say.
It destroyed my whole family. He branded his children for life. He damaged her children, all his children for life. He changed my daughter for where we don't know who she is.
Rebecca Haro, who first told reporters her baby had been kidnapped on August 14th, continues to insist she is innocent.
Cabazon man who murdered his infant son learned his fate today.
CBS LA's Joy Benedict is live in Riverside with more on what was an emotional day in court. Joy?
Yeah, guys, it really was, as there was one victim impact statement. It came from the maternal grandmother of little Emmanuel Haro, the 7-month-old who was first reported kidnapped in August and then reportedly reported that he was killed, in fact, by his parents.
I stand here with you, asking you to give him the maximum.
That was the maternal grandmother of Emmanuel Haro speaking out in court this afternoon at the sentencing hearing of her son-in-law, Jake Haro. Jake Haro, in a red jail outfit, barely looked up inside that courtroom when he was sentenced to more than 30 years in prison for a parole violation and death of his son. He was seen wiping away tears numerous times as his mother-in-law spoke out about what went wrong. She talked about how she never even got a chance to meet her grandson because Jake kept him away. She also talked about how Jake also kept his daughter away from him during all of this, that she never got a chance to go to their house. She said she had called Children's Services on Jake Haro, but they reported that there was food in the fridge and that everything was okay. Obviously, little Emmanuel Haro was reported missing back in August. Within 7 days, both his parents were then arrested for murder in his death after no body had been found and there was no evidence that a kidnapping ever took place. Nonetheless, he was in fact sentenced today to 25 years to life in prison for the death of his son and another more than 6 years in prison for a parole violation.
I wish you could look at me and tell me why. I don't want him to give him another chance. He didn't give nobody a chance. He had many chances. He had a chance. The judge gave him a second chance. The probation gave him another chance. The CPS, oh, well, you know, no, he's fine. He's got food in the fridge and the house is clean. How does that happen, Your Honor? I want to know how.
Certainly a question a lot of folks in the community have as well. Now, Rebecca Haro, Jake's wife and the mother of Emmanuel Haro, is also charged in his death. She is still working her way through the court system and is expected to appear in court in January, accused of the same crime. From Riverside, I'm Joy Benedict, CBS LA.
All right, thanks for the update, Joy.
So this saga is almost coming to an end. So here's what I believe, because look, Tweedledum, let me go back to that picture on the right-hand side of the screen, kicked this thing off by giving that cockamamie story talking about how, you know, she was knocked out and her son was kidnapped. She gave the lie initially. At least that's what I saw, right? So I think that she played just as much of a role. I think she deserves what you think. 25 years in prison, just the same as him. I think she deserves equal time in prison. They both participated in this, and they both are horrible people. And I think that's the only justice for them to meet the same fate, okay? So we will return and do another video on this. I think, again, we caught this out right. Their body language was wrong. They were looking down a lot. They didn't seem real sincere. They seemed very insincere, if that's even a word. Insincere, I guess that's a word. They were not sincere at all. It seemed fake. It seemed like bull crap. And yeah, come to find out, we were exactly right, which is why we don't have to do a lot of retractions. Okay? So to this baby, let me see if I can get just a solo shot of Emmanuel Haro, young prince, R.I.P. And all we could do is just pray and hope that maybe they can get some answers about where that baby's body is. That would be great if we could get that and actually give his body a proper burial, okay? But thank you guys so much for sharing this story. Share it in your true favorite crime groups if you would, please. That'd do us a huge favor, okay? And make these stories continue to go viral. Thank you.